You expect Ciel to have a high health pool and some heavy swings, but this combo has him dishing out burst damage like an assassin. The co-stars are Baleful Oblation and Advent of the Stormcaller. This combo is very particular and easy for your opponent to read, so we'll look at a supporting cast of cards that brings the most out of this cheeky combo. Its genesis is that Baleful Oblation deals X damage to all units except Ciel, where X is the lowest reserve cost among your omens. And oh look, a card with 15 reserve cost. That's 15 damage, if only we can get Advent to be the lowest reserve cost omen. How do we get there? Ciel level 1 lets you create an omen at the beginning of each end phase, which for this combo is a double-edged sword. It lets you make Advent an omen, but it's also likely that by the time you're at Ciel level 3 and can activate Oblation, you'll have other lower cost omens. Not because you have to use the ability, but because other cards gain value from having more omens. This conundrum gives Ciel players two options during the game. Take extra steps to make Oblation work, or pivot. Looking at the Baleful Oblation line first, a key combo enabler is Orb of Sealing. You can rest Orb of Sealing to put a Ciel counter on up to 2 cards in the banishment and turn them face down. Omens reside in your banishment. If they're turned face down, they still have omen counters on them, but they no longer have a reserve cost. Basically, Orb of Sealing lets you make Advent your lowest reserve cost omen, and thus have Baleful Oblation deal 15 damage. Your opponent would love to stop this, maybe by negating Oblation with Incapacitate. You can head this off with the Regalia Spellword Scepter, which you can rest to prevent your opponent from negating your next card. Crystallized Destiny can still prevent your opponent from taking any damage. Some decks run Looking Glass as the Divine Relic in order to run Consumption Ring, which makes responses extremely expensive. If all of that seems like a lot, your game plan could pivot to Extorting Blackjack. It's a 2-power attack, but if the total reserve cost among your omens equals 21, you hit Blackjack, and the attack gets plus 10 power. Advent's high reserve cost gains a secondary function of helping you hit Blackjack quickly. You can get there in 3 turns by banishing Advent plus 2 3-cost cards, or a 2 and a 4 cost. Continuing this combo, Ciel's Mastery and Signature Weapon both buff his attacks based on the number of omens, so a full-powered Blackjack will swing for 18 or 19 damage. Having looked at Baleful Oblation and Extorting Blackjack, we'll finish with some synergies they have. First, if you have not found Advent yet, you can use Oblation with a lower minimum reserve value to apply pressure or clear the board while you work up to Blackjack. Alternatively, if you have Blackjack set up, you could swing with it first, and then use Orb of Sealing to bring Baleful Oblation online for another 15 damage. You could go for an insane 1-turn combo by putting Orb of Sealing under Quicksilver Grail, though I wouldn't recommend it. While these lines present high damage potential, your opponent will keep track of Ciel's omens and try to disrupt your game plan. Applying multiple sources of pressure can offer alternative win conditions, or at least force your opponent to respond, relieving pressure on your main plan. 2 powerful Umbra allies swing the momentum in Ciel's direction. First, GA has few board wipes, and an Oblation deck with Carter will effectively have 8 of them. Carter's recover ability could also buy you time to find your main combo. Spirel's negate ability might let you counter a key card, but more likely it will make your opponent overthink what you might counter. Her real threat is sneakily adding up non-combat damage turn after turn. These allies were prominent during the DTR meta before Rile the Abyss was banned. Future iterations may run fewer Umbra allies. Maybe you can be the chef who cooks up the next version of this combo deck. Good luck.